This is the lovely Flint River that runs right next to Atwood Stadium. You can see the stands off in the background right there. Runs right alongside the river. Atwood Stadium, located in the historic Carriage Town neighborhood. You can see the neighborhood a little bit off. Nothing crazy or special about it, just kind of older buildings. This is the parking lot where all the supporters park. You can see the river right there and then the stadium. So you just park right here, you can check out the river and then go see a soccer game. Here's the logos of both the teams. You see, welcome to Kettering University's Atwood Stadium. That's the name of the stadium. And then here's Flint City Bucks. This is the team I'm going to be covering today. This is their women's team. That was the year they were founded, back in 1996. This was the year that they were founded, 2022, so just last year. And these 4 stars represent all the championships that they've won. The blue color, it's meant to represent the blue-collar workers of Flint, and also the Renaissance of the Flint River. The arrowhead is meant to represent the Native American history around the city of Flint. The red represents the brick, like on the brick houses of the historical homes in the Carriage Town neighborhood. The gold represents Kettering University. It represents Kettering University, which took ownership of Atwood Stadium. The 4 silver stars, like I said, it represents the 4 North American championships that the Bucks have won. The arches right here, these represent downtown Flint, like the bridges in downtown Flint. 96, like I said, was the year that the Bucks organization was founded. And then the 3 waves, which are right here, this represents the 142-mile long Flint River, which was recently named as one of the first state of Michigan water trails. So a lot going on in the logo, but each thing is supposed to represent something that has to do with either the state of Michigan, the city of Flint, or the Bucks organization. I really like it. Especially, obviously, the 4 stars up top, representing all the championships that they've won. And the women's logo, it's a lot similar too if you look at it. The only difference, it doesn't have the championships yet. Hopefully one day it will. And the number was founded just a little bit after. What is that? 26 years, if my math is correct? 26 years after? Oh, real quick, the Bulldog, if you were wondering, that's Kettering University. That's the local university that owns the stadium. It's kind of far away, but here's a beautiful shot of the stadium opening up. And I know you guys probably can't see it on the camera because it is far away, but you can see like the wear and the tear on the stands. They look very old, and the reason behind that is because this stadium was actually built back in 1929. So it's 2023. I mean, we're coming up on 100 years here in 6 years. So this stadium is almost 100 years old, and it is owned by Kettering University. Like I said, it's located here in the historic Carriage Town district of downtown Flint, and it was named after Edwin W. Atwood, who was elected the mayor of Flint back in 1920. Here, let me come up here. You guys can see it's built on a hill, and you can see this brick like up here. You see how old that looks. I don't know if I'll be able to get in the stadium today, but through the gates here, you can see that, man. That looks, I mean, that looks old. And look at it, there's just like a random door just kind of going nowhere. Probably used to lead to something back in the day. But yeah, here's the stadium. And something very, very interesting I wanted to tell you guys. If you see the football goalposts, those cannot be moved. So during the games, those goalposts stay over the soccer nets the entire time, which is a pretty unique feature. Most of the time you can move the goalposts these days, but these ones are planted into the ground so you can't move them. So it's a little bit different when you watch the game. You'll see the goalposts over the soccer nets. But this stadium, being that it is so old and historic, it's hosted boxing matches, UAW strikes, football, baseball games, election stump speeches, and concerts. It was closed for 3 years between 1992 and 1995. And in 1995, it was renovated, and it was renovated, and it was starting to be used for high school football games again. And its nickname is the Beautiful Stadium of Ours, which was given by the River Rats, who are the original supporters group of the Flint City Bucks. I don't know if you guys can see it. Over in the corner over there, it says 2019 National Champions. So they were founded back in 1995 as the Mid-Michigan Bucks, and they originally played in Saginaw. Saginaw is just a little bit down the road from here. In 2004, they moved to Plymouth, and they dropped the mid in their name and just became the Michigan Bucks. And in 2008, they would move to Pontiac, and they played indoors. So they were one of the few indoor soccer teams in all of America. And during that time, they would end up beating the Chicago Fire in the US Open Cup. And they won at Ultimate Arenas in Pontiac, and it was 3-2 in extra time. But then in 2019, they moved here to Flint, and they changed their name to the Flint City Bucks. And in that time, in their 28-year history? Yeah, in their 28-year history, they have qualified for 11 US Open Cups. They've won 11 divisional championships and 4 national championships. And they are the first team in the USL 2 to reach that mark. So the first team in Division 4 to reach that mark. So they are the most accomplished team in Division 4. And in 2000, they beat the New England Revolution at Foxborough in the US Open Cup. They were the first PDL team to beat an MLS team. So just another feat that they ticked off the mark. First, Division 4 side to beat an MLS team, most national championships, 11, US Open Cups, which is very impressive because for a team like Flint City, they don't automatically qualify for the US Open Cup. They have to go through qualifying rounds and meet qualifications to get in. See, I came over in the corner here. This is a good shot of the whole stadium. The press boxes up there look really nice. But here, just to show you guys a little wear and tear on the stadium, you see this brick right here. You even see like the grass growing out of the brick, but you can see there's like holes in the stadium. And look, there's just like this random staircase. Just kind of going up to this old door. Yeah, you can see all the brick right there, how old that is. I mean, almost 100-year-old stadium. Here's a nice look over the whole stands, and you can see how much is dug into the earth, how steep that is. Like I said, I'm sure once you get in the stands, they're right on top of you. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about the city of Flint. It's located, I would say, anywhere between hour and a half outside of Detroit. It's a city that has been hit very hard over the last 20-30 years by first the leaving of the automation business, Then obviously with the housing recession in 2008, but then also back in, I think it was 2014 or 2015, they had a really bad water crisis here, to the point where even now in 2023 it's still not fixed. So they couldn't even have drinkable water. So this is a town that has been hit very hard over the last 20-30 years. They've seen a lot of jobs leave, a lot of people leave. It can be very depressing sometimes, and for them to get, you know, a soccer team like the Flint City Bucks here, you know, so they can come watch them on Friday and Saturday night and give them a little hope and put some smiles on their face, it's really nice. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about the 4 national championships that they've won. And if you follow American soccer and some of the lower leagues, you've probably heard of some of these teams. So their first national championship came back in 2006 when they beat the Laredo Heat. And mind you, this is all the national championships I'm talking about. This is the PDL / USL League 2. So their first championship they won was in 2006 against the Laredo Heat, who they won 2-1. And actually, the Laredo Heat were one of the first teams that I ever followed on Instagram. Then in 2014, they beat the Kitsap Pumas 1-0, and that was actually at Ultimate Soccer Arenas in Pontiac. And then in 2016, they beat Calgary Foothills FC 3-2. And then their last win came against Reading United AC, which was right here at Atwood Stadium. So in their very first season here in Atwood, they lifted a national championship. It was probably right there on that Bulldog's head too. They probably went and celebrated with all their fans right here. Oh, you can see the scoreboard for the first time. Down there it says Atwood Stadium, home of Mark Ingram II, 2009 Heisman Trophy winner. No shit, I didn't know that. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, he played up here in I forget which high school he went to, but that was the running back for Alabama, Mark Ingram. That's really cool. And you can see underneath it, it says Kettering University. It says USL 2 all over the place too. You can see some of the red brick that goes around the stadium. It's kind of like Michigan, the University of Michigan's football stadium. You guys can see the river off in the background. Little layout shot of the whole stadium. And here is the announcer's box. Pretty nice too. Here you go, Atwood Stadium, Kettering University. And I was telling you guys a little bit earlier about the women's team that they just started last year, and already they are almost just as successful as the men's team. So listen to this. This is only their second year in existence. They just beat Detroit City FC's women's side 5-0 to clinch the Great Lakes Division title, and they became the first team to secure a place in this year's USL W League playoffs. And also, Flint City remains the only organization fielding unbeaten sides in both the USL League 2 and USL Women's League. So the men and women's team, both of them are undefeated. Both of them are in first place in their division. Something about this Bucks organization, man. They just turn out great soccer teams and great soccer players.